Firstly, before I start, this question has been asked quite a lot, and I think in my 6 years of YouTube, I have covered it again. Dating in Cambodia. And this is just my own experience. I may rattle on. I've lived in Asia for 31 years in various countries, and for the last 9 years, I've lived here, mainly in Cambodia. So, the scenario, or no, how did I find my partner? Quite simply, I used to go to this restaurant near enough every single day to get my evening meal. And quite often there was another lady there who was having her evening meal, and we started talking, we become friends, and we ended up in this relationship. Quite simple. But dating in Cambodia, people are very, very conservative. Girls are very conservative. It's not like you could say Thailand, Vietnam, or the Philippines. So regardless if you're retired or you're working here, you want to find some kind of partner, it's the same rules that apply to near enough every country in Asia, but not all. But let's say here in Southeast Asia, your girlfriend, your wife of your dreams is not going to be someone who's drinking alone in a bar. It's not going to be in a street like in Pattaya or in Bangkok, where there's 100 girls, 1,000 girls, half naked. These are for, well, being impolite, business. So where would you find the delight of your eye? How would you do it? Now, I think you can do it on some websites. I wouldn't know which ones would be available here in Cambodia. But I would say it's, can I say, similar to anywhere else in the world? Now, please note, I'm not the best in relationships with that, and I may be waffling and rabbiting. But you go like before. Go to a restaurant, there's someone there, you start chatting, and maybe you just say, do you want to go to dinner to another place? And hey, that could lead to a relationship. But do be aware, it feels like Asian girls fall in love a lot quicker than their European or their Western counterpart. Quote, don't get me wrong, in a way, this is just my own experience, and this is just my only point of view. You can agree or disagree, call me a muppet by all means. With that, so you wouldn't find your girl of your dreams in Walking Street here in Siem Reap, Cambodia. You can see some of the video below. I think it may loop is there, but that's not the place. It could be in your office that you may be working in. It could be a member of staff that come in. And they will be all very polite, very conservative, and that's the key word, conservative. They are not sort of like open, or you could say as wild as some of the girls in, let's say, Thailand. Now, if there are a group of girls enjoying themselves at a nightclub, for example, then these possibly would be going to the nightclub once in a blue moon, and they're just going out on the staff meeting, drinking a couple of beers with that. And that may lead, if you start talking and joining in the conversation. But a girl alone at a bar, looking rather, now it could be, by all means, she is doing the same as you, but most of the time she is looking for you for some spondoolies with that. So where else? Just the same as anywhere else in the world. It could be in a supermarket, you strike up a conversation. Remember, English is not the first language here. It's pretty well spoken in the main areas, but it's what you would call pidgin English, and it would be really advisable if you can pick up some of the language. I'm really bad at learning languages, but I'm very lucky that my first language is English, and I would say that my accent is pretty clear. Again, you can disagree with that if you want to, by all means. So the start would be what they say in China, Chinglish. They would be quite shy, but you just engage in conversation the same as you would anywhere else. But again, in America or Europe, for example, finding your dream girl could be in a bar, because it's a different kind of culture in that respect. In other words, don't come to this country expecting every single girl to come to you because you come from America or you come from Europe. Don't expect this girl to fall in love with you because you're splashing lots of money around, you're showing off. There's so many expats or foreigners who do live, work, retire in Asia. I think the best advice is take your time. It's not going to be quick. Yeah? They want to know you. They don't necessarily want your money. Quote unquote, I'm not saying all. It's not like Thailand with the 3-day rule, for example, in Phuket or Pattaya or Pattaya, however you want to pronounce it. This country and Laos, which is very, very conservative. So they're basically not going to jump in bed with you with the first date. They're going to get to know you. It's possibly going to be a friendship first. You would have to make the first move and say, would you like dinner? Would you like to meet for lunch in a different place? Would you like to go on a date somewhere in the countryside or the jungle or the temples around here? So it's very interesting, and I think I'm very lucky to have a wonderful partner like Sophie. In May, it will be 8 years that we've been together, and it's a very happy, easygoing relationship. And the other thing is, if you are, let's say, 50, 60, 65, if this girl who loves you at 20 says, I love you, I just don't get it, for that. The relationship you're looking for may be for a girl who's like 35, 40, 45, or even your same age. Everyone is individual and everyone does have their preferences, and this includes the girls as well. The attitude that you're an old guy, therefore you have money, is not the case anymore. Before, you could say 20 years ago, it could be, but now, young people can have money as well. Maybe young people want to live here, like I did. I moved to Asia, when I was, how old was I? About 25. 1993 was the first time. November 1993 was the first time I was in Asia. And I wasn't here looking for fun, could I say, but I was actually here for work with a big company in Hong Kong and also another company in Singapore. But that's another story entirely. So, advice, take your time. It's not going to happen the first night. It's sort of like a courtship, you could say, quite an old-fashioned way, a way that your mum would actually feel proud of you for doing, instead of jumping into bed with her the very first night. It's not going to happen, or it'd be very rare that it would happen. I'm going to leave this at that, and I will wish you a happy day. I will say bye-bye.